Welcome to our second episode of Theatre Through a Telescope. In today's lesson, we will discuss what is metaphor and symbolism, and we will also observe how it is used in the theatre and also other dramatic works such as an anime. First, let's look on a metaphor. What is a metaphor? It's a comparison between two things that may be opposite or unrelated. Let's look on an example from the anime Naruto Shippuden. Spoiler alerts for those who have not yet watched the episode 344. In this episode, when Obito met Madara, Madara compared himself to the ghost of the Uchiha and also compared himself to death, which can be seen as a metaphor, as yes, he was on the verge of death in that scene, but he certainly wasn't death or a ghost himself, and there we see a literal comparison here. Now, what is a symbol? A symbol is anything used to represent something else and often carries off a deeper meaning than what is seen on the surface. This can also be referred to as symbolism. For example, in the same scene with Obito and Madara from Naruto Shippuden, Madara carried a scythe. As we know, the scythe is a tool which represents the nature of life cycle and that all living things will eventually be cut down. Also, this tool is often carried by a Grim Reaper in most movies. In this scene, however, the scythe that Madara carries as he sits symbolizes how he wanted to cut down the shinobi world and the intention he had to renew life in that world. The scythe also symbolized how he wanted to cut away Obito's reality so he could submit and leave behind everything that is dear to him and go on his side. Now, what is the difference between symbolism and metaphor? Symbolism and metaphor has similarities as they both carry off a deeper meaning in literature and other works. However, they are different. While symbols can be anything which is used to represent something else, there is no comparison in symbolism. A metaphor, on the other hand, allows someone to compare things seemingly opposite or unrelated, often using the word a or the to compare those things. Now, how is metaphor and symbolism used in the theatre? A metaphor can be used in a dialogue in a play to create an ornate and insightful conversation between characters. The use of metaphor also allows the audience or reader to analyze more, which creates a substantial and lasting effect. For example, Susan told Jeff while being on stage that my mother's entire personality is that of a chess game, complex and calculated. Here, we see that the character describes her mother by showing comparison to a chess game, which gave off a deeper concept of another character. Symbolism, on the other hand, gives a similar effect, but further creates suspense for an audience, and anything can be a symbol as long as it is representing something else. For example, in a scene where Susan's mother came on set dressed in purple and red, you know it's danger as she often commits a crime dressed in that suit. However, when she's dressed in something else, nothing happens. Therefore, a red and purple suit would have represented something else, which carries off a deeper concept. Now we have come to the end of our lesson. Remember, symbols can be anything which is used to represent something else. There is no comparison in symbolism. A metaphor, on the other hand, allows someone to compare things seemingly opposite or unrelatable, often using the word a or the comparing those things. Continue to tune in until we meet again on the next episode of Theatre Through a Telescope.